What it is, everybody? It's L Boogie. I was just out running a few errands, taking care of a little business, and going over my life, going over all the decisions I've made in my life, good and bad, and thinking about how my quality of life is today. And I was like, man, this is something I could talk about briefly. And the title of this video is the decisions you make in your 20s are going to affect your quality of life in your 50s. You know, we as individuals, we don't all come up under the same circumstances. Even if you live in a household full of people and you have siblings, everybody's individuals, and they, you know, even though they come up under the same umbrella in the house as far as values and whatnot is concerned, the values you are taught is concerned. You know, we all go out into the world once we're grown, and we make decisions based on our upbringing and a lot of other things, you know, so we have free will to make decisions. I haven't made all the best decisions for my life, but I've made enough good decisions, put it away. I haven't made all good decisions, but I haven't made a bad decision that would affect my quality of life today when I was in my teens and 20s. Okay. Presently, I'm retired, fully retired, and I have one son that's younger than a lot of, you know, younger. He's only 24, considering my age and considering, you know, I have siblings and maybe classmates who already have grandchildren. To each his own, but I look at how I'm living today, and I'm like, wow, I'm thankful that I didn't do this, I didn't do that, you know. And a few things that I'm thankful that I didn't do that would affect the way I live is having multiple or more than one child by a different woman. I had one son by my ex-wife, and we separated, and I moved from North Carolina to Atlanta. Okay, I could have went and started a whole nother family with a whole different woman, but I'm thankful. Now they may work for some, depending on who you are, but I'm thankful that I didn't have any more children. I moved here, I was 41 years old when I moved to Atlanta. My son was born when I was 35. I was 35 when he was born, found out she was gonna have him, and we were already building a house, you know. So I'm thankful that I, you know, didn't put the cart before the horse. You know, it made my life easier then, so my life is easier now. It may, by me deciding not to have any more children, it made my life easier now. You know, 'cause oftentimes relationships don't last, and marriages don't last, and people, You know, depending on who you are, you may want to move on with another person, being male or female. And, you know, I know guys that's done that. You know, they may be divorced and, you know, have one set of kids and decide to give another woman a child. Is that what's make your boat float? Not a problem. I ain't knocking nobody. I'm just doing this video to give you a glimpse of what works for me. What worked for me is I moved here Memorial Day weekend of 2005. My son was like 6 years old. I made sure that I was in his life, and we're very close to this day. We talk almost every day. Talk more so now that he's older, and he can appreciate a lot of the things that I've told him. You know, sidebar. You have children, you tell them what's best for them, and you tell them about life's trials and tribulations as best as possible, because you want to prepare them. But as we know, the children have to go out into the world and learn on their own. And a good measurement of them listening to what you said is when they come back to you and they say, "Dad, you was right," or "Mom, you was right." Okay, that. Getting back on topic. I am so glad that I didn't start another family with another woman. I'm just glad, because my life is so easier. My life is very easy. It's, stress wise, because, kids are a wonderful thing. It's just that in today's climate, you think you know a person, but then you really don't. I could have been like in my feelings, and then like, instead of thinking, I've always thought, instead of being in my feelings, I always thought things through. And I was close a few times, maybe remarrying another woman, but it didn't happen because it didn't feel right. And not the main issue is that it didn't feel right. The main issue is that it won't right. So it's not a thing that it didn't feel right. It's just that when I weigh the pros and cons, and relationship wise, it just wasn't a person that I wanted to marry or be with the rest of my life, for a bunch of different reasons other than just feelings, mainly economics, and a bunch of other issues that happen in relationships. So I look at myself and I'm like, wow, I'm living not my best. Well, I could say my best life. I'm living my best life, most definitely. I'm living my best life. Health wise, there's always room for improvement with the health. Niggas drop a few pounds, which I'm in the process of doing. Other than that, finances and quality of life is very good, but it wouldn't be as good today if I had made different decisions when I was a teenager. Maybe having a few kids out of wedlock, or one kid out of wedlock, then marry and have another kid. Having to deal with two different women, jobs, career wise and stuff like that. The decisions you make in your young life, because you say, if I'm 59 now, when I was 19, it wasn't in the forefront of my mind about what type of life I wanted to live when I was 59, or how financially and health wise and quality of life wise, what would it be like? But in my subconscious, in the back of my mind, I was thinking about it. Like in 1984, when I graduated from high school, I had already added up. I said, well, how old I would be in the year 2000. I said, well, I'm gonna be this age in the year 2000. And so in the back of my mind, I had always been the type of person to think forward, to think about the future, and not just live for today. Which often I don't think is just me. I just don't think it's a good idea to live from hand to mouth, day to day. I think we have to plot a plan for the future, for our future, and for our kids and grandkids' future. So you make decisions in this day and time that is going to affect your life in the future and your unborn children and unborn grandkids. That's just my thing. So when I was 19, I had added up how old I would be in the year 2000. I was going to be this age. And I think I was like 36. So I was like, fleeting. The thoughts came fleeting. They would come and go. And when I was in a situation, so you kind of make decisions based on, what's in the back of your mind. Also, you just don't really realize it. Your subconscious. You make decisions based on your, what's going on in your subconscious, as well as what you see in front of you. So by me sitting thinking about year 2000 and where I wanted to be, just every now and then in my young life, somehow in my subconscious, I made decisions to nurture where I wanted to be today. So so I kind of like picked and choose my battle with women. I picked and choose my battle with a lot of things, in my young life before I got married. So I would come to a point where, okay, out of high school, what am I going to do after high school? Well, initially I wanted to go into the Army, but that didn't work out. There's reasons for that, which turned out to be good, not going into the Army after high school. So I went to college and stayed in college until it was time for me, and I believe things happen for a reason. It was time for me to move and do something else, another challenge or another experience. So I went into the Army, and I was dating my ex-wife at the time. I went into the Army because I was into something that was for a means to an end that was going to possibly cause me, how would say this? It would cause me to lose my freedom. I'll put it that way. So I was young, and I did some things that young people do, but I made a means to an end. I had a plan, and the plan was, this is a temporary thing. It's temporary, and for this purpose, and once this purpose has been met, or this has been done, then it's time to move on to something else. So it was a means to an end. Whoop, that was done. So I went into the military, and that was, I would say, up top with one of the better decisions I made in my life. At 28 years old, I went in at 28. No kids. Was thinking about getting married, because around about 28, you start thinking about, building a family with a future or whatever. A lot of people do it much earlier when they're less mature and less able to do, financially able, and to do it. A lot of people do it that way, but I picked and choose my battles. Like, okay, I said, this one right here, she could she could bear my kids. She could have my kids. But I didn't want to have kids out of wedlock, so I married her ass. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't have kids right away. That's another good decision that I think I made. We got married. We didn't start popping out kids. You know, we got to know each other. And when we found out she was pregnant, it was 7 years later. We had been married 7 years, and we were building our home. And we just found out we weren't going to be in the home by ourselves. L Boogie the third was going to be in the house with us. So that's what happened. So I was prepared. I was preparing, you know, working a lot, trying to get my ducks in a row to build my first home. Was my first home with my ex-wife, and then found out that we were going to have a child. So I was like, okay, well, things happen for a reason, okay? So when he come home from the hospital, he can come home and, you know, to a house. Then the marriage didn't work out. You know, eventually we separated and then divorced. But I remained in my son's life. Once the bullshit feelings and what happened was put aside and gotten over, me and his mother worked very well with each other to co-parent to get him, you know, where he is today. And that's a good thing. Okay, but when we separated, I moved here in 2005, and for a time, this was trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life next, considering the fact I had to start over from scratch. I didn't, you know, I dated, was in a few relationships, but it just wasn't a thing where I wanted to procreate with another woman. It was just like someone was saying, maybe in the back of my mind, just, one, she's not the one anyway. And while she's not the one and you're in a relationship, don't have any more children. Because I was paying child support at the time, you know, living, you know, doing good, not doing, maybe I wasn't where maybe I wanted to be, like where I am today, but I was doing well, was able to travel back and forth to see my son, spend time with him, be there for him for all his football games, do pop-up school visits, you know. Yeah, he just come in and I'm sitting there, you know, stuff like that. And but I didn't want to have don't have any more, because I would be in a different predicament financially and everything, because then I would still be dealing with a woman, you know, that has a child. Because you really, married or not, if you have a child by a woman, y'all have children, you still tied to each other forever. But while the child is still under your supervision and you know, they won't be under your supervision forever, but you still be a parent for the rest of your life, because they still be parenting, because you always be a source of wisdom for them. But oftentimes people make their lives complicated, and it would have made my life complicated, you know, me having to you know, maybe if we weren't married, then that's another you know, child support issue, you know, because you bring them in this world, you got to support them. If you're not together, you know, I believe couples, the sensible couples can get together and come up with a plan to take care of a child financially and otherwise. But then oftentimes that's not the case. Then, you know, have to put the folks involved, get them folks involved, and you end up having to pay court order child support or whatever. I didn't trip about child support. I didn't trip about it. I paid it, and then some, because it just ain't only about the money. It's about, because they don't remember that. They don't remember the shit you buy them, and they don't remember that. They remember you being there. But that being said, I didn't, as he got older, I started thinking about, okay, when he graduated from high school, I still be a pretty young dude. If I don't have any more kids, all my money belongs to me. So he did graduate from high school. They did kick me off child support, and I did get a refund. That's highly unusual, but I did. I got a refund. I went through the child support thing, and they were looking for me, and I was hiding because I was like, what the hell? But then this Miss Roundtree, we owe you some money. We want to make sure you get your money because you overpaid. Reason being, I had it amended. I had my child support amended because I was in between jobs one time, and I was behind briefly, not by a whole lot, but I didn't want to be behind. Cause I was still constantly thinking about the future. I said, I have to get this child support thing right, because I know of plenty of men that are still paying a woman child support and their kids in their 30s. So it wasn't going to be a thing. I was not going to fight. I was not going to fight her or the system. I was like, I'm going to pay it. And then, I paid my child support, and I was a good dad, and still is. So, because I was like, this is going to affect me. This is going to affect me. Okay, the income I'm getting, what does that look like? I'm a disabled veteran, and part of my benefits going to a woman, because that's who it go to, even because that's who the child support order is with, the custodial parent, whoever has custody of the child. And my life would be totally different at the age I am now. My son's 24 years old, and I didn't, stay on top of my child support and was in between jobs, because some men actually, they don't want to pay for whatever reason. Some good, but mostly not good, considering how the system is and how it affects your life down the road. I was always thinking forward, and I knew how I wanted my life to be, and I didn't want my life to be tied to no woman I'm not married to, and I have a grown child. He's grown and out of the house and on his own. No, I wasn't going to do that. So I was like, I'm going to handle this, stay on top of the child support thing. And, I was behind by like $1,000, in between jobs, got another job, reported it to them that I had a job, so they can go ahead and send my employer the thing so they can garnish my wages to get the child support out. And they did. And they took out extra till I caught up. And I never had it re-amended. So it went on. And when he graduated from high school and they took me off, I had overpaid by like $2,000. And they were looking for me to give it back to me, which is a good thing. Because it could have been, my life would be totally different at 59 years old with a 24-year-old son and $50,000 in arrears for child support. Because it comes to some point where the woman can actually, she can forgive and she can say, I don't want to deal with this no more. I don't want to have to deal with him, and let it go. But you have a lot of women, they're not going to let it go. They won't let it go. So every little piece of change you get, it could be you can get in a car accident and get a settlement. And anytime you're going to get a lump sum of money, they always look to make sure that you don't owe back child support or back taxes. They always look. So you have men, they expect to get a nice piece of change. They're already spending in their mind. They're spending the money in their mind. Then they get a check. What the hell is wrong? What the hell going on? Well, Mr. Johnson, you owed your ex-wife or the mother of your child $15,000, and she get it. And you sick, cause that's like having $5 and you got to give somebody $2.50 of that. So that is important. I thought about it. I was like, if I had made different decisions, my life would be fucked up. And I'm just keeping it real. I'm keeping it real. I'm not, y'all know how I get down. Y'all know how I get down. I don't sugarcoat a damn thing. Because ain't nothing to sugarcoat. Just because you pour syrup on shit, don't make it pancakes. So, I was just thinking, I was riding on my way here, and I'm just thinking, like, thank God. Thank you, Jesus, or whoever you pray to, that I didn't make, that I made good decisions in my young life. And, after marriage, because, oh man, y'all hear cats talking, man. Or scenario. I met other cats that, they met some young hottie. Because sometimes we get older, we want to try to relive our youth and our Michael Jordan. When I say Michael Jordan fans, I'm talking about, Michael Jordan is the best basketball player on the planet. And some guys, when they're younger, they're the best player, period. Player, as far as, women and stuff like that, the best player. So they get older, they want to, relive being a player that they was when they was in their 20s. And men can have, as long as you can deposit sperm, no matter how old you are, you can still have a child. If you deposit the sperm in a fertile woman. You know what I'm saying? This dude, 50-something, 7-year-old twins. I was like, hell no. Hell no. It's not. It could be to each his own. If that's your thing, do your thing. If that's your thing. If that's your thing, do it. But I'll be thinking, and then, some of us have a tendency to let the small head rule over the big head, when they see a woman. And some women have different motives. A lot of younger women like older, stable men because they stable financially. They stable, and because they look at you, they watch you. He ain't got a bunch of kids coming to visit him. That means so they might get, they might have strike a conversation up with you, and they ain't talking to you. They trying to get to know you, see what's going on. Okay, because little numbskull knuckleheads in that age group might be, they may be mature, but man, we mature later. So you got a little loot. You know what I'm saying? It happens to men that on the bottom to the middle to the bottom end of the economic spectrum, just like it happens to men at the top of the economic spectrum. Because $200,000 with $200,000 in bills is the same thing as $20,000 and $20,000 in bills. You know what I'm saying? You overextended. So they like, okay. So my man was like, man, I went on in there and she ended up getting pregnant. 7-year-old twins. Not one, but two. I looked at him. I was like, better you than me, bro. Oh, hell no. I not want to be in my 50s raising young children. Young children that I made or anybody else's young children. No, it's not for me. So I was thinking about, I can put the key in my door, go in my house, and close my door, and I don't have to answer it or my phone unless I want to. It's not nothing that I'm obligated, to who I'm like. When you have children, you have to. She called, you don't want to talk to her ass, you got to answer the phone anyway, because it could be about your child. I went through that, when my son was younger. I went through that. Why would I, or any other man for that matter, want to go through that again? When you're nearing, if you're 55, you're nearing 60, when you're supposed to be living a way more stress-free life. You know, you're supposed to be scaled down on your economics and your bills and stuff. You scale back. You know, if you had a child or children, they're grown, you that money goes to you, you know. And you can, you know, go on vacation, take trips and buy things that you want for yourself. But you cannot do that if you make those decisions. The decisions you make, it's decisions, man, that be getting people. And then instead of saying, I shouldn't have done that, you thinking, like they say, hindsight is 20/20. You thinking, damn, I shouldn't have done that, man. Instead of thinking I shouldn't have done that, I think like, well, if I do that, what is going to happen to my life, in my life? That's it. I meet women, met women, been in relationships with them. But I was thinking the whole time, thinking as time go along, thinking, not feeling, but thinking. Okay, she's on this. How she pay her bills? So. She don't want to pay her mortgage? What the hell? What the hell? And I'm not perfect by no stretch of the imagination. I'm not perfect. I'm not a perfect dude. You know, I got my, you know, everybody got their shit with them. You know what I'm saying? Older, staying in ways and stuff like that. But at the same time, if I look at a situation and I feel like it's going to put me in a precarious situation, then I will disengage. And I'm very good. I could disengage immediately. You know, 1 second, we could be talking on the phone. She could call me back. And this number is no longer in service. It ain't funny, but it is funny. That's how I get down. Nah, man. If I have to stress a little, you know, the stress thing, you know, if you're gonna stress me out, then no, you know, depending on what the stress is, and then I'm like, is this a need or a want? Or, yeah, you have to look at things. You know, is this a need or a want? Is this going to add to your life, or is it going to subtract from your life? Or is it going to add to your peace or subtract from your peace? You have to look at those things. And it could be an inanimate object or a human being. If it's going to be stressed, if it's going to cause me to have to stress over it, and I'm not going to get, you know, what I want out of it, you know, be it financial or peace-wise or peace of mind or whatever, then I'm not going to deal with it. I'm not. Now, people do deal with stuff like that because they're going off how they feel. They're going off, well, I feel like, instead of sitting back, analyzing the situation, and then weighing the pros and cons, and then deciding if it's going to be good for your life or not. The hell with some feelings. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to say don't have any feelings, but there's a time and a place for the feelings. And when you have to make decisions that's going to affect your life immediately or down the road, then you have to be analytical. You have to be analytical. You have to think. You know, what is this? You know, what is this going to cause me? What is it going to cost me? And costs don't necessarily have to do with money or anything monetary. It has to do with, you know, your peace of mind, stress, how well you sleep at night, what you have to deal with on a daily basis is dealing with people. I don't like a lot of people. I don't like a lot of people. I spend most of my time alone. In any event, I decide to let someone in my world, it's usually just one person, female, whatever, or woman I'm with, or whatever, in my world. Besides that, don't hold a lot of other people. You know, I'm friendly, I speak, hey, how you doing? But You know, and may even carry on conversation, pontificate, and all that other kinds of stuff. Keep the Willy Bobo actual factuals and shit, right? But that's as far as they go. And I tell people what I want to tell them. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. You know, so you have to be, you know, if you can. So this is kind of like a thing of advice. Like, I got a neighbor. I have a neighbor. He's 80. He ain't 89. He's 79. He's 79 years old. He has a child 47 years old and a child 7 years old. He's 79 years old. He has a child 47 years old and a child 7 years old. And I was like, okay. He has probably about 8 kids or whatever. Ages ranging from 47 to 7. Hell no. I don't give a damn. And I'm keeping it real. I don't give a damn if the coochie, if she got sparks. I don't care if she got an S. A cape on the coochie with an S. I don't care if she's Sunshine from Harlem Nights. And the coochie so good that you can throw it like sunshine and it come down. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. And I let that right there don't run this up here. Not with me. No. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta learn how, in some cases, yeah, you can kill, but some stuff you don't need to kill. Some situations it's not a thing where you have to, men are hunters, but you know, in the old movie, Thin Line Between Love and Hate, this cat told Martin, you know, Martin and Bobby Brown was running Chocolate City, this nightclub. And the nightclub owner told Martin, the older you get, the smaller decision your dick makes. And I'm just being really honest and blunt. And he said this because Martin was dating a lot of women and he had messed around and caught hold of a rich, crazy one. And if you've seen the movie, you know how it ends. And he told Martin, the older you get, because Martin was like, man, here back in the day, you was a man. You was a man back in. He said, yeah, I was a man, but when I think about what me and my wife got, man, shoot, you know, I'm good. And then Martin asked him, man, you don't never think about, you know, reliving, you know, and I'm paraphrasing, you know, reliving your Michael Jordan days when you was a man. Nah, man, Know why? And he said to Martin, the older you get, the smaller decision your dick makes. But unfortunately, that's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a case where the older you get, the smaller decision your dick makes. But that's not necessarily the case with a lot of men. I don't know about women, because I'm a man, so I can't speak on that. Well, I can speak on men and the decisions we make. And there's no way in 40 hells I was going to have a child at two different ends of the spectrum as far as age. I'm not what, 79. I'm 69, but I could have if I had made different decisions, I could have probably a bunch of kids, man. But no, your life is not, if you aren't financially able, and even if you are financially able, it's not a necessity that you just, bring children into the world just because you can take care of them. Nah, man. But to each his own, but I know what works for me. What works for me is peace and tranquility. You know what I'm saying? I get a phone call from my son, and I'm still dad. He needs if he needs to know something, he needs to, he got a, something going on, he called me and we'll talk. Dad, so this and blah, blah, blah. All right, man, okay. You know, everything Gucci, you know what I'm saying? So here what you do, you know, do this, or what do you think about this? You know, I try to get him to think. And oftentimes we just call, talk, laugh, and trip out. So it's not a thing where I'm getting a call from his mother talk about what the child support at. Or are you gonna ever pay the $40,000 in the rear that you owe? You know, so man, man. Sometimes folks, they make their life hard. You make it hard on yourself. If that what makes you happy, then do it. Whatever makes you happy, do it. What makes me happy is peace and tranquility. Just ohms. Woosah, all that good shit. I'm cooling. You know what I'm saying? All this thing, I'm thinking, man, about how blessed I am. I am truly blessed because I ain't do it, man. I was like, no, I ain't do it. I just, you know, wanted to be in a certain predicament as far as my life is concerned. You know, boy, you just look and shake your head. So people, boy, you just, man. So I ain't gonna hold y'all up. I've been on here a little while, but if you're in the sound of my voice, and if you're a young man or older man, you know, even if you may have a few kids, but that don't mean you gotta go and pop out some more with some more. Bruh, slow the fuck down, my nigga. Slow down. Talking to the dude, slow down. Slow down, because you young now. And you're not thinking ahead. Because once you bring a child into this world, you're not living for yourself. You have to grow up. Sometimes, I know people have kids in their teens. And the family dynamic is not like it was when I was growing up in the 70s and 80s, where, grandma, could help. And I'm more so women, because, the women, they want who come on with the kids. But at the same time, it was different. Families were more close, and you had extended families, and you can receive help, maybe monetary wise or moral support. And some of them would keep kids. You had some grandparents who raised their own kids and turn around and help raise their kids' kids. I didn't want to be in that predicament. I'm not a grandfather. And I talked to my son about the same thing, about making the right decisions, about not putting the cart before the horse. I'm like, if you want to have children, you need to be in a certain financial, it would be ideal. I tell him it would be ideal. And he looks at me and his mother and how we did things. He looks at that. He's a product of that. And I talk to him still. And he has that in his mind. He's not ready to have children. He wants to have a certain amount of money in the bank. He wants to be and be married to the woman that he's going to procreate with. And that's a good thing. So if you're a young man, and young women, I've talked to young women, and, women are more, at some point, women are a lot more mature than men. And I might, he don't want to get married. He don't want to do this. I'm like, y'all got how many kids? We got 2. I'll tell them straight up. And I'm, if you're a female, you're listening to this, tell you straight up. I believe in marriage. If he don't want to marry you, and it's a lot of reasons today why men don't want to get married. plausible and good reasons. Not plausible, but probable reasons why the institution of marriage is not valued as it once was. But ideally, you should want to be married. You know what I'm saying? If it's the right person. Oftentimes, people are apprehensive about marriage because you have to, it's not nothing you should take lightly. It's not nothing you should jump into. You should take time out to get to know the person if that's what you want to do. And I'm talking about just more, not 1 or 2 years sometimes. I was married I was with my ex-wife 5 years before I got married. So you want to take time to get to know people. Take time out to get to know them before. Yeah. And man, because the last thing you want to do, or you don't want to be in a predicament as man or woman in your family. I know I met women who still have they in my age group, and they still got their kids living at home with them and stuff like that. Come on, man. No. You raise them so they can go home. You know what I'm saying? And have their own lives and have their kids, and they bring the kids, your grandchildren over, and you play with them and call them, tell them come pick them up. You know what I'm saying? Come pick them up, come you ready, Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a thing where they come home, they living with you with their kids and everything. No, you shouldn't have to deal with that as you get close to 60. You want them, them, and that comes with preparing them properly to go out into the world, and trying to instill into them making good decisions that won't put them in a predicament, that's gonna affect you, because girls sold more than boys. They're gonna come home with the babies. You know what I'm saying? So if you prepare them to look, and if you made the mistake, you don't want them to make the same mistake that you made. You can say, look, I had you early. I don't want that life for you. I don't want you to go. I want you to experience, have fun and experience your young life. Meaning, if you out of high school, if you're not going to go to college or go to the military, start a business or go to trade school, learn a trade. Right now, it's kind of like your best bet is to get some trade under your belt, because a lot of trades are high paying, IT and, just to name a few, or something in the medical field. You want to prepare your kids for the world. So you prepare them for the world, you prepare them to make good decisions when it comes to starting a family, and you prepare them so they could, be able to financially survive out in the world. That way they won't have to come back home and live with you. Now, it happens. Things happen. You could do the best thing in the world, prepare them for whatever. Things do happen, and sometimes you have to come back home for a little while. I did it, 1 or 2 times. I just didn't come back home with no kids. So with girls, they might come back home, with a child by some knucklehead. So you spray that holy oil on them, the knucklehead, I call it knucklehead repellent. You kind of want to prepare them. It's like this is, if you're a father and you're in your daughter's life, you want to have, present the type of to her the type of man that you would want her to be with. And you can't be not right and not doing right, and she go out and pick somebody who's just like you, and then you mad. You know what I'm saying? Well, why you pick him? He's just like you, Dad. And he could be a drunk, a womanizer, and all other kind of bullshit going on, So no. So you have to prepare them to go out into the world, because that's going to make your life. What I'm saying, it ties into how you want to live your life in your 50s and 60s. Because you raise them and they get out the house, you want them to stay gone. You want them to stay. You're quite natural. If they're not doing well, the door should always be open for them to come back home if they have to. But it should be a situation where they have to come back home for a little while and not bringing 2 or 3 kids and a husband. I know some cats got a house full of people. She'll come back home with she'll come at home with 2 kids and her husband. So you got to do the best you can and be the best example of a man that you can be. So she won't go out, pick up and come on, man, really? I couldn't come back home and stay in no, when I got out of the military, me and my ex-wife, we stayed, with my mother-in-law for a little while. But I fixed that shit just as fast as I could. Man, what? Really? Me? And you can't poke your chest out? Shit, nigga, come on now. No way in the hell I stay. And no, not. It could be her mama. It was just her mama. She ain't have, her dad or another man. We was living with her mom. Hell no, I fixed that. Shoot, I hit the ground running. I got out the damn army. We moved in here with a little while, and I had my the stuff from our apartment in Colorado in storage. And I went apartment hunting. Found an apartment, whoop-de-whoop, got in the apartment and got my shit and had them to deliver it. I was not going to stay there with her. No. So if you have daughters, you don't want your daughter to marry a deadbeat dude, because ain't no way in the hell. And oftentimes, sometimes they be married, but in most cases they don't. Got a grown man that ain't got no job. Really, if my pride wouldn't let me stay on, I wouldn't go back home to my parents. No, man. So you gotta have some pride, But it's all about, what I'm trying to get at is the decisions you make in your young life is going to determine how easy a life you have when you in your middle age, when you're middle aged. If you like to fish, you can go do that. If you like to hunt, you can go do that. If you like to sit in the house and just watch TV, you're gonna go do that. Because in a few minutes, I'm going in here, if I could do sign language, and chill and plot and plan out for what I want to do in the future with my channel. But I wouldn't be able to do that if I had made not so good decisions when I was young. If I hadn't done that, if I had made the best decisions I could make when I was a youth, and I could give my parents that credit, because they told me certain things, But me, I was always the type of guy that look at other people's situation and decide if I wanted to be in that situation or not. And a lot of cats, man, she always running her mouth. We got to deal with that. She won't shut the hell up. She wearing the hell out of them. I seen it was cats that could have went off to college. They got stuck with some female and a baby. You have to plan your life. You have to plan for the life you want. Don't plan for the life that you choose. Plan for the life you want, not the life you can settle for. Because and guess what it is? If you're not satisfied with your life, it's on you. It's you. You ain't got nobody to blame but yourself. You don't have nobody to blame but yourself if you're not living your best life. And I'm talking to people that are middle-aged from 40 to 59. I'm talking to you guys. If male or female, I know one chick, she had 5 boys. And I don't know if that's the case now, but at one time, all of them was living at home. They grown. No, man. Oh, and another thing, that is man repellent. Females, it is man repellent when you have grown children still living at home, but you want a man. That is man repellent, along with other things. But with the main male man repellent that I know, that's man repellent that'll run a man off, is a woman with grown ass kids living at home, especially boys. or young men. That's man repellent. A man want to come in and deal with that? Come on, really? You gotta prepare them kids. Prepare them. Start as early as possible. Look and see what they're interested in, academics, sports, or whatever, and pour into them that, and get them in the routine of where they're working towards success and doing whatever they like doing. That's gonna, enable to catapult them out to be out on their own, go off to college, or have a lot of girls, they like to do hair or like to do makeup. They don't go off to college. They may go to cosmetology school. Then some come straight out of school because they was doing hair and nails and makeup when they was in high school, and they opened their own business. You know what I'm saying? Put your little money to the side in case the little college money you put to the side. If you put college money, you putting college money to the side, put it to the side. So, okay, if she don't want to go to school, man, shoot. Go find a building you like. Go find a building you like. You want to do, I want to do hair. I don't want to go to college. And then, that's good because, shoot, that's less of a bill, because oftentimes they have to get they come out of school, they're in debt, student loans and all that. So if they find something they like to do, or if they want to go to trade school, want to be a plumber, electrician, brick mason, carpenter, or what have you, let them go do that. Because then when they come out, they're certified and they're making money. And then they ain't on you. If she, take a little college money, little Susie, she don't want to go. What you want to do? I want to do hair. Okay, you want to open your own salon? Yeah, I want to open my salon. Oh yeah, take this right here. We're gonna, and I'm gonna help you out. We're gonna do business plan, this and this and that. Boom, and let her do that, because that's gonna cause her to, she's doing something she like. Ain't gonna be a thing where she's gonna give up so easy. And you was able to, invest into her, so she can invest into herself, so she can have her income coming in and ain't gotta come back home. You know what I'm saying? And then talk to them about kids. You don't want to ruin your young life that you can enjoy. Man, I enjoyed my life, my young life. Went to college, went into the military, traveled, got married, and still waited another 7 years before to have a child. You got kids, you grow up too early. People do not know what they're missing in their 20s and part of your 30s if you want to start playing house early and start having to deal with that nonsense, with a woman early, child support and stuff like that. No. When you could be off doing something that you want to do. You can be in college. I had the college experience. Then I had the military experience. It's just plan for the life you want, not the life you have to settle for. Those are my words. So that being said, I've been spouting off for about an hour. It's just that was heavily on my mind. Oftentimes when something, I have a thought and a subject keep coming up, I have to do a video. I have to do something on it, because it's just going to keep, it's going to keep at me until I let it out. So the decisions you make in your young life is going to affect you when you're middle-aged. When you're in your middle ages, you're in your 50s, it's going to affect you. So, plan for the life you want, not for the life you have to settle for. That being said, this is the L Boogie Speaks 2 show. And y'all love each other. I know it's hard. I just had to get that out, though. I had to get it out. I hope it helps somebody. I believe someone will be helped by it. And if you haven't made all the best decisions, it's not too late. Oftentimes, realizing that you haven't made the best mistakes, the best decisions, realizing you haven't made the best decisions in your life, going forward, you could fix it the best way you can. You can plan. It ain't over. It ain't over till it's over. You still can plan, but it's just some things you may have to remove from your life, you know, so you can live your best life. All right, y'all. Y'all be cool until I make my next video. I'll see y'all. Deuces. Peace.